Right now you know we unstoppable. Unstoppable, that mean them can't stop ya. Unstoppable, now we are trained.
Yesterday, I made the post saying that I was going to address this situation on Instagram, right? And a lot of people reach out and say unstoppable. You know, wagwan. Now, more have to take this time to big up everybody who reach out. More have to take the time to big up everybody who commented in the comment section. You understand? There were so many persons who say, you know, and this showed me real supporters too. You understand? It showed me real supporters because there were so many persons who were saying, brother, it no matter what them come with that talk about expose, we there same way, because we rate and respect you and we love what you do. So big up to all of them people. Big up to the people who say, yo, all the faith same way you. No matter what them come with, can't stop you because you name unstoppable. Big up to the whole of you who know yourself who was there and you know, I show some positive support. Now with that said, let's get to the meat of the matter. The post said that somebody allegedly was going to expose Unstoppable. And that's what sparked the controversy and the concern. Now let me explain this. Nobody is trolling me. Nobody is threatening to expose me. Nobody is bashing me. Nothing of that sort is going on. For those of you who have been around and following me and listening to me for as long as I've been going live, whenever I do go live over Yasa or even YouTube, one of the things that I always say is, if you feed into negative energy and respond to it, you're only giving that person more strength, more power, right? That's one of the things that I've always said. If you feed into negativity, you only build up that person that's stronger and giving that person more power over you, right? So the other thing that I always say as well is that the best way to disrespect or insult somebody is when them a chat, you just ignore them. You may have heard me say that over and repeatedly over here. So the people them who know me would have known that that post was a bunch of crap, right? Because one of you want to message me and say, Unstoppable, that not seem like you do, because normally you don't answer people, right? I'm just say, no worry yourself, tomorrow you will all understand what the post means. Now there was a reason why I made that post yesterday. I've been doing a social experiment. I've been reading upon the reason why people are more drawn to negativity. I've been reading upon it. I've been diving deep into what the reason is. You know, a lot of people, we see it here on social media every day where people say, too much negativity, too much of the same thing. We not like that, right? And the very same people who say they don't like the negativity, they are the very same ones that click on a headline that clearly says it contains negativity. Let's give an example. When you look at the news articles, when you look at the newspaper, what makes the front page is nothing positive. It's always the negativity that makes the front page, and it normally sometimes get at least half of the page or the full page, right? And the positive news normally gets placed in a little category and somewhere down in the back part of the star or the back part of the newspaper is where the positive news goes, right? We're going to use social media for example and show you that negativity sells more than positivity. You see it surround you every day upon social media, right? You see it surround you every day upon social media that more people are prone to be more attracted to the negativity, right? When you look and you see somebody, and this is proof as a matter of fact, when this live started, it started and fly up to 300 and fast, but the minute I spoke that no negativity no in this, you notice the number started to go down, which was expected, right? Because those people were here just to hear our expose Unstoppable. Wanna see the point? So it's proving It's being proven right here, right now on this live, because I already revealed that there was no exposing going on. So most of them did only click on to see, yo, more here who are exposed and stuff like what is being exposed. You understand? Now, during the research, I'll have you understand that it is not your fault why you're attracted or drawn to negativity. Our brains, we are wired that way. So you may be telling yourself you don't like negativity and you don't want to read or watch or see negativity, but when you see it, you still click on it anyway because you're curious to know what is happening. It is not that you love negativity, it is just that we are wired that way. And it has been psychologically proven. For example, this is an example that I'm going to give right now. How many of you here, when you're driving down the road, right, you see a car accident, and when you see the car accident, instead of holding your head straight and go where you go, you slow down and you peep through the window. Now who can tell me the reason why you peep through the window? Who can tell me the reason why you peep through the window? The reason why you're peeping through the window is not to see if anyone survived, you know. That's not the reason you peep through the window and I look to see, because you see a serious car accident, you see the car mash up. And you slow down and you peep to see how much people or if anybody died. That's the reason why you look. Because when you're looking at the car accident, you look to see if anybody up on the ground lay down, if anybody dead. And you do that without even knowing it sometimes because your brain is wired that way. Alright? Your brain is wired that way. When you go on these platforms on social media, right? And you see their listeners, right, is in the thousands. Just take a listen to sometimes the things that them talk about. It's usually somebody bashing somebody else, tearing down somebody else. And the reason for that is because some of us, our brains just draw us to that type of thing. You understand? There's actually research into this. There's actually research into this that proves that it's not your fault, but that's just how we are built. Another example is this. How much I you say right now know people where when them hear fire down there so, right? The place down there so burn down. Instead of you stay where you're there, you run go down to the fire because you want to see where you're going. Am I wrong or am I right? Somebody run and say, yo, the business place down there so burn down, you know. You run towards the fire instead of running away from it because you want to go see where you're going. Right? Our brains wired that way. When you get what I say? Our brains wired that way. Let me give you a perfect example again. If somebody come up the road to you and say, yo, you know, say pastor such and such a preach down the road. How many of you here would drop what you're doing and go down the road to go hear the pastor preach? Not much. Probably some real die-hearted Christians, but not many of you here would drop what you do and go down the road to go listen to the pastor preach, because that is not negativity. Now, if you take a look at even in some garrison communities, you will see where when a fight broke out in the area, you notice a crowd gathers. The crowd not gather to come part the fight, you know. Why do you think that happens? The crowd not gather to come part the fight, you know. The crowd gathers because something go off in your brain to say, yo, I need to know what go on there. So I am curious about that. So you're drawn to the negativity. Alright. I'm going to break it down for you. There is something called negativity bias, and I'm going to pull it up and tell you what it is. Most of you here may already know what negativity bias is. Yeah, man, I see the numbers, but that's what I'm saying. Had I continued all along the lines and draw it out and pretend as if I had something to reveal, as in somebody exposing me probably more than they all at us right now. You understand? But I expected that. You understand? Because it's not negativity. People don't like positive information. You know? So we can't blame them neither. Alright? Alright, so it's called negativity bias. Most of you may have heard it. Most of you probably don't never even hear of it before. Right? If you're just hearing about it, let me tell you what negativity bias is. Right? It's called negativity bias, and like I said, this has been proven by psychologists. Right? Oh, and another thing that I'm going to prove to you. While I was researching it, one thing that I found out, and I never knew this, one thing that I found out, they had multiple people that they tested this on. You will have a bunch of words flashing on a screen, and most of them are not going to believe this right now neither. You will have a bunch of words flashing on a screen at a fast pace. Every word is going at the same exact pace, right? At the same exact pace, right? However, you can be standing up looking at every word flashing in front of you. Now you have positive words and you have negative words. Your brain will recognize the negative words faster than it would recognize the positive words, even though every word is flashing at the same pace. How many of you here knew that? Most of you never know that, right? I didn't know it until I started to dive deep and looking into this. Your brain would recognize the negative words faster than it would recognize the positive words. Right? Now, why is that so? Why is that so? Curious to know. You understand? Another test that was conducted proved that they put people, right? And them run the test on them. You will have negative words, positive words, and they're all in different colors. The test shows that people were able, them asked them what color were the words. So you'll have green words, red words, pink words, all those words, right? And they asked them to identify the color of each word, right? They were able to identify the color of the positive word faster than they would be able to identify the color of the negative word faster. Now, most of them may say, but if they pay more attention to the negative word, then wouldn't they identify the negative word faster? How many of you here can explain why they can identify the color of the positive word faster than they can identify the color of the negative word faster? Let me see in the comments to see who are going to get that one here right. Why would they identify the color of the negative word slower than they would identify the color of the positive word faster? Right? The test has been proven. The test has been proven. I'm looking in the comments to see if anybody are going to come with the correct answer as to why they were able to identify the color on the positive words faster than they were able to identify the color on the negative words faster. So let's say the word good, right? Let's say the word good is in green and the word bad is in red, and they're asked to identify the color of both words. They would call out the color green first before they call out the color red. Alright, nobody don't know. Keisha says not sure. Let me explain based on what the research proved. The research proved that the reason why they would call out the color on the good word first is because your brain is more focused on the actual word, which is negative. You know, understand? So your brain is giving more time and taking more time to process the negative word more than it is processing the positive word. That makes sense too, no? That makes sense too, no? Your brain is more caught up on the negative word, so it don't process the good word color, you know. It already processed the good word color fast. Just like that. Boom. The word good is in green. Boom. But the negative word, your brain is still processing that because it's more focusing on the negativity and processing that. So it's processing slower than the positive word. Alright? Now let me get back to telling you what negativity bias is. Alright? According to psychologists, a negativity bias has been built in our brains based on millions of years of evolution when it comes down to dealing with threats. Alright, let me read that for you again. According to psychologists, a negativity bias has been built into our brains based on millions of years of evolution when it comes down to dealing with threats. Now, most of you may not understand what that means. What that means is that over the years, our brains develop a way to protect us from danger. Right? Our brains developed a way to protect us from danger. So we know what is fire. We know, say, if we touch fire, we're going to get burned. We know, say, if we see a scorpion, there's a possibility that we're going to get bitten or stung by a snake if we touch it. You understand? So our brains wired for us to know what is negative and what is positive, what is good and what is bad. Because if we didn't have that function in our brain, then we would have seen fire and run in it. Wrong or right, people? So over time, our brain develops that function to protect you as a person. You understand? Alright, so let me continue into it. Our ancestors lived in difficult environments. They had to gather food while avoiding deadly obstacles, noticing, reacting to, and remembering predators. Alright? Now, while we're on the topic of remembering, I try to give you the meaning of negativity bias, but let me give you the topic of remembering though. When you have an experience, right? When you have an experience, you will remember bad events faster than you will remember good events. Wrong or right? You will remember something bad that happened to you more than you will remember something good that happened to you. Most of you probably never even noticed that. But your bad memories stand out more than your good memories. You could try to suppress them as much as you want, but your bad memories stand out more than your good memories do. And that is a fact. Right? Negative events gathers more attention than positive events. Negative events draws more attention than positive events. Let me give a perfect example. Let's say you go to a nice 5-star hotel, right? And when you go to, alright, so Sasha, I say there, I can remember something bad that happened to me when I was 4 years old. Yes, that happens. You understand? 4 years old, you can remember it because it's something bad. So negative events stands out more than positive events. The example I was about to give, let's say you go to a 5-star hotel. Everything about the hotel nice. You don't have no complaint with the hotel. However, you have one experience in the hotel where, let's just say you don't like spiders, but you go lay down on your bed and there was a spider on your bed. What do you think will be the takeaway of that entire time spent at that 5-star hotel? It won't be the fact that the hotel was nice. Yeah, you might still mention it. You might say, boy, I'm not going to tell no lie, the hotel was nice, you know. I love how the room look, I love how the furniture them is, and I was comfortable. But one spider did dip on the bed. You get to me, I say? So, the negative event is still going to surface and take precedence. You understand? The negative event is still going to surface and take precedence over the positive events. You know? Another example is this. You'll be working at a job. And while you're working on this job, Your boss always praise you. Your supervisor always praise you and say, boy, Princess Sherry, love how you work. You're always on time. You do good. You're that, you're this, you're that. And you're always accepting the praise. What would stand out more? The one time your boss scolded you for something bad. So let's say you come to work late. One time. Right? And your boss says, Princess Sherry, this is not acceptable. I will not be having this. That will stand out and take precedence over the fact that your boss has been praising you forever and ever and ever. Because you know what you're then going to say? That same man who used to praise me every day, tell me say in love how I come and work on time and in love how I work. The one time I come and work later, here he might come in and talk about him not accept this. So that takes precedence over the fact that he was praising you all the time. Because our brains are wired that way. You understand? Exactly, Princess Sherry. It's going to make you feel bad. That's it. You understand? And it's this right here, I was getting to that. It all boils down to our emotional feeling. Right? Now, let's take a look at this again. While we're looking at the emotional feeling. It's a state. Now, research has shown that people on social media, they like to share positive things more than negative things. Right? Research has shown that people on social media like to share positive things more than negative things. But the reverse on that is, it's not true. People don't like to share positive things more than negative things. Let me tell you what the twist is to that. So you're on social media and you are a participant of whatever is happening, right? So let's take a look at the newspaper, for example, or the news. You're watching Marlet. See that Marlet know the thing. See Marlet come in and say first impression stands out, right? Watch out. When you meet somebody, I'll get back to what I was talking about a while ago because Marlet made a very good point. When you meet somebody and it's a bad first impression, that is why you can never let it go. The bad first impression will always stay in your memory. That will never go anywhere. When you meet somebody, if the very first time you meet a person and the first impression is a bad first impression, that will never go anywhere. I'm glad Marlet point out that, right? Because that was also in the research that I found as well as one of the things that contributes to that section of our brain that sends that signal, right? All right. So, like I said, this was simply a social experiment that everybody, proved that negativity, people are more drawn to it than the positive information. Right? As I was saying, when you take a look at the news, you're watching the news on TV, you're watching, you're reading the Star, you're reading the Gleaner, you're reading the Observer, right? You are just a outsider watching or reading. But when it comes to social media, there is a difference. You are now a participant. You are now participating in the news, transferring from point A to point B. Because you will be here and you see something pop up on your phone. You can either scroll past it or you can share it. Now, most of you here may be like, yo, yeah, I'm not like share negativity. I rather to share something positive because if I go share negative information, it will go somewhere else and you understand that I go mess up somebody else there like it messed up mine. However, that is not solely because you don't like to share negativity. You don't share negativity sometimes simply based on your emotion. I don't know if I say a while ago makes sense. You share based on your emotion. You share based on how what you're watching or how what you're reading makes you feel. It makes sense when I say it a while ago. You share based on how what you're watching or how what you're reading makes you feel, meaning your emotion, right? So if you're reading something and it makes you feel some type of way, that is the reason why you share it. Because if you watch or read something that makes no sense, you're not going to share it, you're just going to scroll past and go about your business. But When you're watching something and it triggers a reaction, it triggers an emotion, that is the reason why you share it, right? Now, if it's positivity and it triggers a positive emotion out of you, let's say it's something funny and it makes you smile, which is an emotion, you're going to share it so that someone else could smile. If it's something that you're watching and it triggers anger, which is an emotion, you will still share it so that other people will see it and understand why you feel the way how you feel. So you're still going to share it. So it's not about you don't want to share negativity, you know, but it's because our brains are wired that way. You understand? Your brains are wired that way. So you may know it's something negative, but because it still triggered an emotion, it still triggered an emotional reaction in you, you still shared it. So let's say you read something. Let's say you read something. A 5-year-old gets raped and killed. That triggers an emotion of either sympathy, sadness, or anger. Right? So when one of those three or all of those three emotions are triggered, you are going to share it even though it is not positivity. When you get to me as a people. So like I said, you know, it's not something that we all just love negativity. It's just that our brains are wired to be interested in these things, right? We want to know what is happening. We want to know what going on. That is why we do it. Because like I said, we see the headlines. The headline is big and bold, and you read it and you understand what is actually in it before you click it, but you still click it because you want to know what it's all about. However, mind you, you're not going to stay on it, you know, because your brain also tells you, okay, enough of this now, I'm gone. Am I making sense? How much I want there right now that would see somebody bashing somebody on social media? You know you're not like the bashing thing, you know you're not like the fact that people are bash people, but you would still click on it, even if the person where bash somebody is bash the next person is somebody where you not like, but you would still click on it, listen for a few seconds, and then you'll be like, you know what? Tired of that girl. You click and you're gone. How much I want you ever do that? Let's be honest. How many of you here has ever done that? Right? Where you know that the person who is bashing someone else is there bashing someone else, but you're still interested to just click on and hear what them say. But you're not going to stay, you know. You're just going to listen to hear what them say for a little while, and the whole time you're listening, you're throwing up your face like, watch her. That's all she good for. I don't want anybody feel like me I talk about anybody specific because me I say she know. But I'm saying, you know, you're there and you're watching, it's like, that's all she good for. That's all them good for. We get up every day and bash people. You know, but you're not going to stay. You're going to click off eventually because your brain also send the signal there. This is not what we want to listen to. You understand? So, people, just princess, may I tell you? But yeah, like I said, this right here was just to clear up and make everybody understand what the post was all about. Nobody was trolling me, nobody was threatening to expose me, nobody was bashing me, and if anybody was bashing me or trolling me or threatening to expose me, the people who knows Unstoppable would have known that me nah answer. You understand? Me left them, me just laugh off of them and keep it moving. However, I will point this out before I end. Despite me being the kind of person that just laugh off of people and them negativity, there are times where I will address certain things depending on the level of disrespect. Right? So far nobody no disrespect. Well, we don't know of one incident. Right? Me not forget into it. Right? So as I was having a conversation on my brother TR live last night, and TR asked the question, what would cause you to respond to certain people, right? Certain level of disrespect. And I gave him the answer. It all depends on the level of disrespect that would cause me to actually respond to someone. And once I respond, once me done. Alright? And that's that. So people, bless up. Just wanted to make everybody understand what the post meant. It was all a social experiment which was proven, right? Now this is how I'm going to tell you all how the social experiment was proven on my end. When I made the post, in the post, no, most of you are going to unfollow now because I what I'm going to say, but listen, when I made the post, in the post, I said, I am going to address this on Instagram, right? Which was to be the ratio in which I was going to test the response. Now, how much you can tell me how much my Instagram followers went up by in only a couple hours after I made that post? How many of you can tell me how much my Instagram followers went up by when I made that post? In only a couple hours. And it's simply because I said I am going to finally respond to this mix-up on Instagram. 5 o'clock this evening. How many of you can guess how much my Instagram followers went up by in only a couple hours? Princess said 200, Denise said 300, Princess said 500. I read out and no, not that much. Sasha, I know. What? I wish we did have 2 million Instagram followers. Keisha, no, not that much. My Instagram followers in only Sophia said it right there. My Instagram followers went up by 1,000 the last time I checked since I made the post. Since I made the post, my Instagram followers went up by 1,000. I'm sure it's more now because I haven't checked. But that just was proof that people wanted to know. Right? People wanted to know what was going to be exposed. So everybody run go over. Nobody wanted to miss it. Some people even commented and said, yo, I will be tuning in. This now miss me. You understand? No, it wasn't a prank, princess. You have to understand. An experiment. This is how experiments are done. You have to run experiments to see the reactions. You understand? No, I'm going to tell you this, like I said earlier. I know most of who run go over go follow because them find out know that it was an experiment and them not get the mix up. They are going to unfollow, which it's expected and I understand, right? But I got the benefit of proving that the research actually worked, right? So once again, big up to all the true supporters. Big up Black April, yeah man, definitely me know, because remember, you know, a lot of people them just run for the negativity, right? So because I'm not one that's going to be spilling negativity on a constant, them not gonna stay. You understand? That's it. I'm more one that I'm fueled by promoting, I wouldn't say positivity to be honest, because I wouldn't say the things that I post is positivity all the time. And the reason why is because of you and other people. I can't post positivity all the time, because the truth is positivity does not sell. That's the straight truth. Positivity does not sell, which is the reason why the newspaper put the positive news in a small category in the newspaper, and the negativity gets the front page and the headline. So when the passerby sees the newspaper and them see the big headline and the headline is negativity, they might go buy that. But if it's something positive, nobody now waste them 75 cents or them $1 to buy the newspaper. You understand? So people, as I say, big up yourself. Thanks a lot for the continued support. Alright. Lover said that's your opinion. Yeah. But it's also a fact that has been proven. Alright. So yeah. Lele. So big up to everybody. Thanks a lot for the support. Thanks a lot for continuing to support the platform despite, you know, a mix up and drama over here. So, right? I will continue to do what I do best. I will continue to put out the content that I put out. I will continue to inform people. I will continue to do research, and once I do the research, come and make you know what I find, and prove it to you. You understand what I say? And make you understand what is what. Alright? Bless upon yourself. I'm gonna left you know little more.
Right now you know we unstoppable. Unstoppable.